So, all right, so we're gonna do today the Wakas Aura Music Festival analysis, so the voice analysis. So this is Dr. Johan, I'm your host, and together we're gonna look at SB19 performing and how they differ from the live, or if they are like the audio live versus the studio. Consider subscribing, consider getting a membership if you want to help a little bit more. But so far so good, right? Let's say here we're enjoying our time and we're gonna look at SB19. I'm gonna develop a bit more things, and later we will do. Let's say in another video we'll do a massive Wakas versus Lollapalooza, Wakas versus Grammy, Wakas versus Aura Music Festival, so we can see how the difference they have. That would be really worth it. But so far, let's dive into the Wakas Aura Music Festival. So before I get into this, the video, the audio, I took it from Monkey music video, Monkey in videos. Again, so check his videos. That's the full live. He films amazingly the SB19 videos, very professional. I think he has different cameras, right? He's tracking. I'm not sure if he's alone, because it seems like to be tracking every different person at the same time, the SB19 band. So, and he has many other bands. So again, Monkey in video. Again, thank you. And he told me I could use it in a comment, say, hey, you can use my stuff. Like, okay, so again, check his channel, and let's start analyzing the audio. So off to a great start right here. You can see a beat. Attacking from behind, maybe they will be tired. So that's what we get, the portamento. Alright, it's a bit like getting like a bit like off, right, a tiny bit off key, right? But that's the beginning of the songs. And if you watch the videos, you know that Wakas is at the beginning, like most of the artists and a lot of cover artists, they have a bit trouble to get inside at the song at the beginning, right? SB19 is a bit like already, I think, tired, so that expected. And on the rhythm, they're perfect. Just like a bit portamento, that would suggest that they are tired. And this is what I wanted to show you, right? This is what I wanted to show you, because, you know, like we try to get deeper in the analysis together and see what we can say. But this is like here, attack, that's an attack from the top, right? The first note is from the top right here, and he does it in the studio version as well. When you attack from the top, basically it's a sign of a classically trained artist. You attack, basically all notes should be attacked from the top, not from the bottom as like a portamento, but it should be a bit from the top, right? And that's exactly what we are seeing here. That's a sign of being an amazing singer, right? That's a sign of being an amazing singer. Whereas people that are more self-taught, they attack from the bottom, right? So that's it. So here I'm just showing you signs about SB19 and what you might have missed, and I believe it's really much more easier to look in the screen and be like, okay, so this is what we have, right? And thankfully the computer can show you so much things that the human here, they cannot say that, right? So perfect, right? It's a bit like totally fine, right? Now you can see like it's a bit like below when it was getting over the top, right? You can see right here is locking in the song, right? Perfect. See vibrato right here as well. So it's doing like, I believe he's having fun on the song, right? And here we can hear it a bit like the overshooting, basically the drop. The descent is overshooting it and is like getting a bit behind. So now is the PSR kicks in and you go back. But let's hear it again. That's this moment, right? 1, 2, 3. You can hear it, the note right here. He was a bit off key, right? He went too far, right? So that's fine for now. That's a sign he might be tired, basically, right? Because SB19 never makes mistakes, and that's, I believe they use the beginning of songs from what I can see. I believe sometimes they use the beginning of songs, when relaxing song, to actually relax, you know, to get more strength for later in the finale of the song. So don't waste your strengths and your in here, like PSR, like your reflexes, to be focused. Like that's like giving away at the beginning for later to be locked in the finale of the song. That's what I'm believing, and that's what they are doing. Portamento effect right here on purpose, right? Sometimes That's why you have to listen, because sometimes the portamento, it's a stylistic effect, right? And with amazing artists with SB19, so you have to really go into the data that we have and also do the voice analysis and listen to it, because you can see right here it's the stylistic choice. This portamento, now 1, 2, 3. That was amazing, right? To me, it sounds amazing. I think it's like, so yeah, though it's like I think in Grammy, I'm not sure, but it reminds me. I think in the Grammy in the spot it was a bit like dropping a bit, but like it's wobbling around. Perfect. A bit like here you can see a bit like right here, but we don't hear it. Like I don't hear the error. It's not audible yet. And here I can hear it. We could hear a bit like here. So here was a bit like too much below. So I think maybe he was tired and he thought he was hitting the note, but like it was a bit like, you see, it should be like tack tack. That's the same notes. So nice. Here is perfect. The attack is perfect. Overlaying here, no mistakes right here, right? No rebound. Perfectly sharp. And you're a bit like too much like late, so we can hear it, but it's an inverted glide, so that's fine. Nice. And here the vibrato, actually better than the studio version. Ooh, look, that was really pure. I would say that was really amazing, because again, what I'm trying to say, classically trained artists, really amazing artists, they attack from the top, and this is what we see here, is attacking the note from the top. So that is so much locked in, right? Locked in the song, and he does the exact same vibrato he does, right? So he has the muscle memory of the song, right? Look at this again, the same vibrato. It's overlaying on each other. You can see that's amazing. Like, and it does the same thing in the, if I'm not mistaken, like I think in the, how is it? Like the Genius Verified, I think. And here the vibrato effect right here, a bit too large, I believe, right? But that's the ending, so that's fine. That's fine, right? And to show you a bit the studio version right here, the studio is like the vibrato is like locked in right from the beginning. That's a stylistic choice they are doing, like to do that at the ending. So overshooting a bit, we know that they overshoot a little bit at the end, right? Before like a descent, we know that. And again, the attack from the top, right? You can see it stops right here, stop here, perfect, and then attack from the top. That's like a sign of really incredible artists, classically trained artists. So that's what I'm saying. It's really nice to see that. You can see as well. So no problem with it is perfect. And the descent, right? And he's having fun with the track because he does that in the live, so like he's having fun, right? And he does it in the studio version, attacking the note from the top. Again, from the top as well, you can see he would attack from the top, like in the studio as well. Nice, and they stay sharp right on this note, so even better than the studio version. We get much more emotion in this way. When I do it live, they're a bit tired, and usually when artists are like getting tired and they give their all, that's what's amazing, right? That's what we want. They give their all, everything, especially Wakas. Wakas is a very emotional, damaging song, right? So you know, like Simulas at Wakas. Okay, so atin mo rin simulan na Wakas analysis. Okay, no problem right here. The PSR like a little bit, that's fine. Again, the attack from the top. And the glide. That's okay, that's an effect portamento. I don't see any errors. It's a difficult segment right here. Okay, let's go. Is it Pablo coming in? Look at this. The exact same thing, right? And that's where SB19 is like, I would say, king of P-pop, right? Because look, able to reproduce live after being tired, and consistently live after live doing the same vibrato of the song when they're supposed to expect that. Well, I'm amazed, right? Look at the strike accuracy, perfect. Okay, perfect. So, and that's locked in. You can see attack from the top as well. You can see the high mid getting there. They're using a mix of voice, not the chest completely, but the mix also as well the head. So nice. And this is a little bit like, it's a bit too much, but that's the signature of SB19. That's the signature of SB19. Perfect. You can see everything is overlaying the tail perfectly, no rebound. So that's difficult to show you mistakes because they are perfect. Okay, I'm gonna advance a little bit. Perfect. Now I'm gonna advance a little bit more. You can see the perfection right here, the strike like coming in, right? So perfectly flat, perfectly perfect, right? And this is a stylistic effect, not like a portamento of like a self-taught artist. That's a stylistic effect. Yeah, here is they do it on purpose. That's a stylistic effect as well. They do it like a bit like overshooting it, but not a full overshoot, right? There's a spike, they stop at the note, we can register, here the note, and then they go above, right? Back it. So nice. And the perfect. So I'm going to advance a little bit, but I don't see any mistakes right here. And here a bit like below, right? We can hear it as well, a bit below, probably because they are tired. And they do that a lot, quite this kind of stylistic effect. A little bit like sharp, attacking a bit from the top as well. Look at this, perfectly perfect. So that's really amazing to me. When I look at this, I'm like, wow. So continuing. And look at they do a vibrato, but vibrato goes on top, right? We can register it's going a little bit on top. That's really nice, right? So let's see it again. Look, gonna be able, right? So we reached the note above, right? A little bit. So now perfect right here. I'm gonna advance a little bit. Oof, that's nice, right? This one, like, nice. The vibrato, like, look, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's like 5 hertz. That's the ideal vibrato with the ideal actually with the ideal, how we can say, amplitude, right? That's why it's so good, because this is the ideal vibrato. And there is a lot of studies actually from vibratos, because like there is so many studies about vibratos, the voice, the throat, the vocal cords, how they are. Is it chaotic? Is it not chaotic? And what is the best vibratos? And most of the vibratos in the voice is actually like 2 vibratos. That's the thing. Maybe I'm teaching you today, but like, or maybe 3. So usually it's not like a pitch perfect, like let's say like wave, right? Sometimes you have different, and here obviously you have a different type of wave, which is not like the usual round shaped wave. And I believe that's really interesting, right? So, but we will do like a bigger focus on the frequencies, the vibratos, in a way much deeper videos about SB19, because they're really amazing, and that's worth it, right? To look at how they are, how they do things. And look at this, right? So that's really nice, right? Pitch perfect, a little bit like tiny. But we would just have to be annoying, right? If I just want to be annoying. And that's it. So that's the break, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna advance a little bit because I don't see anything special, right? And I believe they changed the key, right? Did they change the key? Yeah, I believe they changed the key of the track at the end. Look at the end of the song, after a full, like, let's say like a full episode of being perfect, they're still being perfect. Like, look, the waveform right here is like, it's amazing, right? So you can see that the vibrato. They know it by heart, the muscle memory. And that's the moment that I like the most here. You can see perfectly. He knows the song by heart, right? He knows it. Nice. And then you go back to more softer thing. Like I can see portamento inverted on purpose, gliding through. Ooh, let's see that. So that's a D, C sharp, and it's like C sharp D. Perfect, right? It's not registered because it's like mishaps, but like here the high note was perfect, right? Nice, very perfect. So yeah, and this is okay. That's the signature right here as well. And you can see a bit like here, right? Like he go overshooting. He overshoots a little bit, right? The style effect of SB19. This is like if you want to remember something from the video and talk with your friends, you know. So like who knows, but like this is what they do, right? They have usually after like when they go up on the note, they do like a little bit like overshooting on purpose. So yeah. And the late on the track, look, you can see it on purpose. He waits and then he goes in. That's a stylist. That's on purpose. Okay, that's it. That was Wakas from Aurora Music Festival. The audio from Monkey in videos, right? Check its channel again. Thank you. Consider subscribing to my channel if you like this kind of analysis. Consider getting a membership if you like to support a bit more. And that's it for today. So I see you in the next video.